everyone, welcome back. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Rebecca and today I have some beautiful Dollar Tree DIY decor. I got most of my pieces in Dollar Tree to create these along with some of my paint and glue. For one of them you will need an extra piece, but I'm going to give you several options of places that you can maybe find it on a budget. So don't worry, I've got you covered. I've got some ideas for you, and it is honestly such an expensive piece. I mean, it's like expensive to buy and so inexpensive comparatively to create that I'm so excited to share it with you. A lot of these are Dollar Tree DIYs that you can use as home decor, room decor, or outdoor decor. And they're pieces you can use on your patio, out on the deck, somewhere on like, you know, an outdoor living space, outdoor decor for spring, summer, fall, something to kind of use outside during those nicer months, a nicer time of the year when we want to spend time outside. I also recently shared a Dollar Tree haul 2 days ago. I think I posted that video, and it's like the first haul that I've done of 2020, but I picked up some food items, some essentials, some craft supplies, some even like workbooks, school books for Kylie and things like that that I find in Dollar Tree. So also some gardening things. Anyway, if you want to check that out, I'll have that link down below. Also, I decided that I wanted to do a giveaway. At first I was like, maybe I'll do like a $100 Dollar Tree gift card. And then I was thinking that a lot of people have told me that they don't find like what they're looking for in Dollar Tree. And they're like, oh, my Dollar Tree doesn't have all this stuff. So that got me thinking, cash would probably be a lot easier for most people and just like a lot better. But getting cash too is kind of tricky. So I think the easiest thing for me to do is to do like a Visa gift card and then just send that. So I will let you know further on in this video, during the video, how to enter that. But anyway, it'll be to win a $100 Visa gift card. So I'll let you know all the details later on in the video. So without further ado, if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know, consider subscribing before you go, and let's jump into these Dollar Tree outdoor, indoor DIY decor.
So for the first one, I am taking one of these baskets from Dollar Tree, and I decided to take my scissors and cut out the bottom circle portion of the basket, and then also cut off that top loop, like that band around the top. And this way I have just the whole side portion here. And then I cut that basically in half in order to fit around one of these Dollar Tree vases, and I just attached it with a whole bunch of hot glue. You will need a lot of hot glue in order to keep it in place, but honestly I think this turned out really cute. It looks really creative. You could put flowers, ferns, candles, whatever you like in here, and I think it looks so pretty here on the living room table. You could probably use this outside, but of course just, you know, be careful because it is glass. But if you have something like a plastic vase, this would be perfect outdoors. But this is the only one that I'm definitely keeping inside and I don't think is that great for outdoors. Anyway, moving on, I am creating a table, and this is the one that a lot of you guys have been asking for. You got a sneak peek of it in my Dollar Tree haul, and I had it styled over there next to me just so I can put my stuff on it. And yes, I got so many questions of, did you make that table? And yes, I did. Here is the tutorial for it. I took a pizza pan here from Dollar Tree and I am spray painting it. So now I'm taking these plastic bowls from Dollar Tree, and I did use several of them in order to do this, but I have one upside down so that you have the widest part, you know, giving you a supportive base, and then I put another one with the two bottoms connected facing upward, another one facing down on top of that. I did that another time, and then another one facing upward, and that will provide the support now for us to glue the pie plate on. So all in all, I now have 6 of these plastic bowls glued together, and this is going to give like the perfect height for a side table. I then glued the pie plate onto the top. You do want to use like a good generous amount of glue in between each. I have my glue actually on the high heat setting, just so that I can really press it together and give it like a really, really good hold. And so far so good. I should mention, I did go back with the glue once it was all attached and look for any gaps or spaces in between where I connected the bowls, and I did add a little more extra hot glue in there just to make sure that, you know, everything was filled in with glue very well. And then underneath where you glued on your top pizza pan, you can also go around that again underneath and just add like another layer of the hot glue on there just to, again, seal everything really well and give it as good of a hold as you can. And you could put this outside just like this if you like that kind of more modern, clear acrylic look. But, you know, I thought it looked maybe a little bit tacky like this, and you know, Mike kind of thought the same thing. So we wanted to paint the whole thing to match and just all be one single color. Black might have looked better for this because I have the black planters. However, I did not have enough black spray paint on hand, so I went with this charcoal one. And you definitely want something that's like a paint and primer combination. It's going to just adhere so much better, and you can do this otherwise in whatever color that you want. This spray cap and nozzle is a little bit different, and honestly, I like it so much better. I usually have the one where you have to, like, you know, you push your finger down on the top, and this one is more of like a trigger spray bottle, and it works so well. I felt like it was so much easier to paint with this. I decided to put this outside on the deck. You could obviously use it indoors, but I am going to actually just, you know, keep it outside on the deck for the summer season. And I have about a $7 table here. I also wanted to show you guys this other little DIY that I had made a while back, and I just never got a chance to share it with you. I'm taking a couple of these little black, actually I'm repurposing these, that's why they have the leftover glue on them, but I'm taking these little black pots. These were like supposed to be for pot of gold from St. Patrick's Day. And I did put some stones. If you put some of these little river rocks, these are from Dollar Tree, but you can obviously use any rocks you want. Something just to give you like a little bit of stability in the base. It will help keep it from tipping over. So I like to do that. And then I went ahead and added another one on top, just use some glue to attach it. And then I've got these little trinket trays. I said, yes, the journey begins. These are obviously like for a wedding, but we're gonna paint over them. So I just glued them and created these two little tiered trays. And since I am loving my metallic copper paint lately, I am gonna take some of that and sponge that all over, top, bottom, sides, everything. I just completely covered these two tiered little trays, sponged it all on there, and I think this kind of gives it like a terracotta clay look. These would also look really great indoors, but for now, I have mine styled outside. Okay, next are these little coasters that you see over here. And this is, I absolutely love these. I think they are so perfect for outside. So I had these little wooden pallets from Dollar Tree, and I've had them for a while. I thought they were so cute. And then honestly, I ended up having nothing to do with them, and I didn't have any projects in mind. And I was like, what am I gonna do with these? So what I decided to do, our table is actually acacia wood. And then this way I can kind of make it match the color of the acacia wood table that we have. So I took a little bit again of my metallic copper chalk paint, and I just diluted that down in water so it would be a lot thinner. So I don't actually paint the wood. I created what will look more like a stain. So it's more of like staining the wood. And honestly, the color came out so good. It matches the table so perfectly. Now for the top of my coasters, I'm cutting out a piece of these vinyl, I think they're vinyl placemats from Dollar Tree. I liked the pattern on here, so I cut these down to fit. I didn't even measure. I just kind of held it on there and just cut it to fit and trimmed very, very slowly and carefully so that I didn't like shred the placemat at all, and trimmed it to fit the top. And then I used a little bit of the super glue gel rather than the hot glue, because you know the hot glue seems to come through the placemat and then you can kind of see it. It dries kind of white. You can see it showing through and it doesn't look good. So use the super glue gel. That worked so well for me. I didn't have any issues. I think this came out so good, and look how nicely this matches out on our wood table. So now I have some outdoor coasters for our wooden table outside, and I love how these turned out. They are so cute. They were so easy to make, and honestly, I think you could even give these as a gift if you wanted to make a set of these to give as a gift. Okay, so moving on, I had the rest of that placemat left, so I was like, what am I gonna do with the rest of this placemat now? I'm taking one of these little flower garden planters from Dollar Tree, and I kind of measured out a piece, folded it in half, what was left on my placemat, and I am cutting that in order to fit around the center. It wasn't going to, I didn't have enough to cover this pot fully. If you wanted to and you had a full placemat, you could probably just completely cover this whole pot. But I just decided to make like a band around the center, and I did have to cut the edges on an angle because I wanted them to line up with the natural seam that was already there on the planter, and I used hot glue on the corners. It does show through the placemat like I mentioned a little bit, but it gave me a really quick hold, and because it's kind of on the edge and right on the seam, I don't think that it's a big issue. It's not super visible. You could try the super glue gel, that might work as well, but I just liked that I got a really quick hold with this, and being right on the seam, I just did my best to not go too heavy with the hot glue, and then that way it didn't show through too much. Okay, so for the next part of this one now, I've got my planter, and what we're gonna do is take some of these little faux succulents from Dollar Tree. I'm taking those and I cut them off. Actually, I cut all of the little petals off. I kind of tried to cut them on an angle, and I'm gluing them onto some wooden dowels. These I got from Walmart. They were like 30 something cents each. If you are looking at Dollar Tree, they do have wooden skewer sticks, the short size that they normally have, but then also like for summer with their barbecue section, they do have the really long wooden skewer sticks that are this size. So I'm making a few more of these sticks, and I wanted to point out to you guys, these dry really well. They are just like a hard, smooth plastic, and the pointier ones I showed you before dry well. The ones that don't are like this one. They're a little more rubbery and bendable than these are. Like, these are a little stiffer, they don't really bend. So the ones that are like a little bit more of a rubbery plastic, those petals are the ones that stay wet. Unfortunately, I'm using them because that's all I have, but somehow they stay pretty wet and sticky for a long time. So definitely, if you are purchasing these new, go for something that's like a harder, smoother, shinier plastic, and not the rubbery ones. So now for the giveaway, what I'm going to do is in order for you guys to enter, go ahead and comment down below and let me know what your favorite item was from the Dollar Tree haul that I just did. I'm going to link that up top here as well as down below in the description box and at the end of the video. So check out the Dollar Tree haul and then come back and comment here and let me know what was your favorite item that I got in that haul, and that will enter you to win the $100 Visa gift card, and then I will contact the winner and then announce them in the description box of this video. Okay, so this is like my favorite one, and I have a door. Now, before you're like, Rebecca, Dollar Tree does not sell doors. Okay, so my dad had actually got this one. It was being thrown away, and he brought it home. And so I thought it would be perfect for my project. Now, what we're gonna do is be gluing mirrors onto the front. You can buy a door like this for, I think, around $30 in like a Home Depot or Lowe's, but I also looked online and found people selling doors like this, and I found some in my area that were only $5 or $10 for a door. The other alternative is you might be able to use a piece of sheetrock, although you definitely want to keep that in the house if you use sheetrock, or some kind of plywood, and that would be fine too. You can keep plywood outside. You can paint the back, which is what I recommend for the door, is that if you're going to do this outside, definitely just paint any areas of the wood that's going to be exposed, or maybe paint just the entire thing before you glue your mirrors on, just so that the wood is protected outdoors. So I am going to keep mine inside because our deck is like a second-story deck, and this is very tall and we get so much wind. So we're just not comfortable. Like, this might blow over. What if it tips over and falls off the deck? But if you don't have a ton of wind where you're up on a second story and you want to just like, you know, first story, lean it against the house or something, like there's nowhere for it to fall, then, you know, I think this would be so nice outside. But for me, we actually thought that in our living room, there's pretty high ceilings in the living room, and this is going to be the perfect thing. Make kind of a row across the bottom, get the mirrors straight, and then also make a full column going all the way up the door so that I know that I line my mirrors up in line with the door along one side. You know, I started on the left side and then I'm going to work left to right. By the time I get to like the top, I won't have my mirrors all going off in the wrong direction, kind of crooked. Does that make sense? So I'm giving myself a little bit of a frame to work with here, and I am using a combination of both wood glue and hot glue for this. If you don't have wood glue, maybe you can use super glue or something like that. But what I did was I did 2 sides with hot glue, and then I did 2 sides with wood glue, and I did it on the edges of the frame so that that could really connect to the door. I also had a little bit of a tricky time finding mirrors that all matched because, believe it or not, the ones that all look like they matched, I had gotten enough in Dollar Tree, and I got home to line them up and realized that they were actually 1/4 of an inch off. So it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is going to be a big deal when you're lining up this many mirrors. By the time you get to the end of your row, you know, they're going to be way out of line. So I had to end up kind of returning those, still looking and measuring them more carefully to make sure that, you know, you can use whichever ones you want, just get the ones that are all the same size. That's the only thing that matters. Also, you can order your mirrors online. The only thing to know with that is that if you order online, you might not be able to find them all with one color frame. What I found online gave you a combination of black frames, white frames, and silver frames, which, you know, black, white, and silver would be really pretty. It would give you a really cool, really unique, customized, personalized, eclectic mirror. But, you know, if you want it to be like all one color, then you may have to look in the store, or you could always paint your frames because maybe you want like a pink mirror and you're gonna paint them all pink anyway, and then it wouldn't matter. And I love how mirrors look outside. But like I said, this mirror is so tall. So I decided what I wanted to do is actually stick it in the corner of our living room to reflect the light, to reflect the space in the living room. I think it looks so good. Let me know which one of these ideas was your favorite. Would you recreate any of these? What are your thoughts? And also, I would always love to know if there's any requests that you guys have for other DIYs that you want me to try to create here on my channel. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for watching. I wish you a beautiful and blessed day, and I will see you guys soon in the next one. Bye!